It is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by our friends over at Booking.com. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, and intern Tommy along for the ride as well. All right, hope you're doing well. Programming note, no show on America's birthday. We're all going to celebrate the way we should, responsibly, with friends, with family. Let's go do that. What sort of big plans do you have?
I'm going to be so irresponsible. It's going to be crazy. No, I'm just kidding. We have a neighborhood party we're going to.
Nice.
Great family friends of ours. They throw a nice little bash. All the kids will be there. Just a good backyard hang, man. Just like as American as it gets.
I love that.
Yeah.
Anybody going to be wearing his Rams helmet to the festivities or no?
What does that even mean, bro? No.
Is he going to be there throwing footballs to all the kids?
I don't know who you're talking about. I will be shirtless, in case you guys were wondering. All
Excellent.
day.
Excellent. Send a ton of photos. That sounds awesome. All right, we got a lot to get to, but we start off with a tip of the cap. This was great last night before the Dodger game. They honored Yoshika Miwa, honored by the Dodgers before the game. 110, the oldest living Japanese American in the country. They gave her the jersey. 110. Are you kidding me, dude?
That's incredible. I aspire to live to 115. So Yoshiko is an inspiration to me. And maybe I need to get in touch with her and say, hey, what's going on here?
She looks great. She looked amazing, smiley, looked energetic, had the whole thing working.
And they came back and did their thing for her.
Which we will talk about momentarily. Now, the question is, do we think that Yoshika hung out the entire time? Or do you think when Sewald trotted into the game that she was out?
I think she might have been out like the 5th or 6th. You don't want to wait around for that traffic, Yoshiko.
That's
you
true.
know what's up. You know. At that age, you have the wisdom, Chris.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's why she's smiley at 110, and the rest of us are all grumpy, less than half our age. We'll talk about that Dodgers-Diamondbacks finish. But first, let's get to the pitchers have started flying off the market. It happened right when I woke up on Wednesday morning. Brewers and Rays have made a trade. Aaron Civale is getting dealt for the second straight year. Last year, he went Cleveland to Tampa. Now he's making a connecting flight from Tampa to Milwaukee for single-A infield prospect Gregory Barrios, 20 years old, supposed to have a pretty decent skill set, really good athlete. But let's talk about what this means for both the Brewers and the Rays. We know that Milwaukee has been searching for pitching depth. Is this a kind of move or a kind of move?
I think the latter there, Chris. Anytime Milwaukee makes a move for a pitcher, I think that's kind of the reaction we have. Like, what's going on here? And, if you look at his numbers, with Cleveland, he was a sub-4 guy. So a serviceable, kind of middle to back end type of starter. The pitch mix changed a little bit this year. And that's what I always get curious when you go to a different organization. What are they going to tell you? He started throwing a sweeper this year. It's been a good pitch for him, but possibly at the demise of some of the other stuff. Last year, his cutter was his best pitch. And now it's been a 1 run value. Last year was an 11 run value, one of the better cutters in the game. So if you start throwing the sweeper, is that start to take away from your cutter? His 4-seam fastball this year has been really bad for him. It's been getting absolutely shelled. So maybe they say, let's get rid of the 4-seam fastball, stop throwing that, focus more on the cutter here, maybe tame the sweeper down a little bit. There's going to be some sort of pitch mix adjustments for him. And, I think for a team that needs depth and the understanding of what the starting pitching market is going to be, it's going to be a seller's market. There's no doubt about it. I think it's very smart for the Brewers to go out there and act this early and just kind of, shore up some of the depth that they desperately need that, Chris. I like this for the Brewers.
Yeah, they're up 6 games on the Cardinals as we speak. I love it that they made this move at the beginning of July instead of the end of July when they're going to be running into the stocked shelves and everybody's going to be elbowing each other out for starting pitching. So that's good. Obviously, I've watched a lot of Aaron Civale in my career, and he's had some great ups, and he's had some really, really low moments. And there weren't a lot of ups in Tampa Bay. They gave up a pretty good prospect in Kyle Manzardo. We'll see what Barrios turns into for them. But in 27 starts and ERA over 5, he's been a home run machine. That's kind of been his calling card. Like, he's given up 16 homers, and right now he moves into a tie for first among National League pitchers. And in that ballpark, that number could even grow a little bit more. But it does make sense with guys like Gasser and Hall being out. Joe Ross, who knows what's going to happen there. And then the back end of the rotation, is he better than Wilson, and is he better than Keuchel? Like, that's what you have to ask yourself. You can't say, okay, in a do or die situation, game 5, like Cleveland had to trot him out against the Yankees a few years ago in game 5. Everybody's like, what are we doing? Like, if the Brewers get caught in that situation, people are going to be asking the same thing. But can he be a guy that gives you some good innings in the playoffs if they're fortunate enough to make it there? Yeah, he can. He can. So to me, it's a move.
And for Tampa, they had enough rotational depth. Taj Bradley's been really good as of late. And, I think that maybe they saw the market. They had possibly searched out Milwaukee and said, hey, we like this guy. What do you think about taking Civale for him?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the kind of organization they are. So, we'll see how it turns out. But, Tampa didn't necessarily need him, and Milwaukee did need him. And that's kind of how trades work.
And Springs, by the way, is expected back soon.
Yeah.
And I think the Rays are only 3 games out of the playoff.
They're coming, man. Yeah, they
so
are.
Weird. It is
so
weird.
They're 1 game over 500. Here we go.
All right, let's head to Yoshika Miwa's favorite team, the LA Dodgers. This is the situation last night. Jock Peterson, their old buddy, home run in the 9th to give Arizona a 1-run lead. It had been a really fun game to that point. In comes Paul Sewald, who hadn't given up a run.
Shohei hits the homer first to tie the game up.
We'll get to Shohei.
Okay, sorry.
We'll get to Shohei. That was all part of the drama, no question. I got it. We'll get to him in a little bit. So in the 9th inning, here comes Paul Sewald, who hadn't given up a run in nearly 2 months since his season debut. Remember, he was a little banged up to start the year. So he gets Lux. He gets Shohei, gets him swinging on 94, high in the zone. Will Smith bangs one off the wall. Freddie Freeman on an 0-2 count gets a run-scoring double. We're tied. And then this happens.
Hernandez, ground ball, base hit left field. Here's the game. Throw to the plate. Dodgers win. Bang, bang, bang. And their last out.
That's right, Joe Davis. Get me fired up on that one. I know the Dodgers are going to run away with this division, so the win itself isn't huge in the grand scheme of 162 games, but I just think because of the situation and going against one of the more dependable closers in the game, I thought kind of added a little spice to it, didn't you?
Yeah, first of all, that call, bang, 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 is great because that's exactly what happened. I mean, 3 in a row, they're down to their last strike. Will Smith with a good swing there. Or no, I guess it went down to the last strike, excuse me. Or they were.
They were. Freddie Freeman was 0-2.
Freddie Freeman was 0-2. Will Smith was first pitch off the wall. Yeah, that's the Dodgers have the ability to do that, especially when you get to that part of the order. I don't care who's on the mound. I mean, they got a shot there, and you put together good at bats like that. Difficult for Jock, who feeling himself after hitting the go-ahead homer. At his old stadium, he's like, I'm the man, this is still my house. And he didn't say that, but he's thinking that.
Oh, hell yeah.
But then the Dodgers come back and do it. And it's just who the Dodgers are. They're an incredible team with a lot of depth.
Yeah. And for Arizona, that's a tough one. Including for our
Sewald's been great.
Unbelievable. He'd given up 5 hits all year. 5 hits before that. And then in like a span of 5 or 6 pitches, he gives up 3 more and he's walking off with an L. He faced the music afterward. He said, listen, Will Smith, it was a bad pitch. He did exactly what he's supposed to. He goes, Freddie is literally one of the best players on the planet. He goes, it wasn't a good 0-2 pitch, but this is what he does. And then he goes, I don't get upset at ground balls, which I don't know how you feel about when pitchers say that, but I mean, it was a ground ball.
Yeah, I think the assessment was fine.
I thought so too.
First pitch to Will was up in the zone middle. He banged it. Then the 0-2 pitch kind of like up and into Freddie, but not in enough. And exactly, Freddie was going to get the barrel to the ball on most pitches. And then, if that ground ball goes, 5 feet to the left, it's game tied and you go into extras, but it found the hole. So I have no problem with that.
You talked about Shohei earlier. He hit his NL best 27th homer. After the game, he said he's most likely not going to be doing the home run derby, as had been previously rumored and talked about by his manager, Dave Roberts. He said he's going to continue his arm rehab. Is that explanation good with you?
I'm fine with it. He's done it before. I believe he'll do it again in a season where, yeah, he is rehabbing something. I think everyone needs to take that into consideration.
Do you, when he says stuff like that, do you think of the possibility of him, because we don't yet technically know what he had, right? They never really disclosed.
Yeah, it was a Tommy John adjacent,
Right.
whatever
What,
that means.
by the way, what aisle do you find that in when you're shopping?
Was it in
surgeries?
Eternal Brace? Is it something?
I really don't believe that they
Yeah.
ever said what it was.
Okay.
Do you think that there's any possibility no. Don't even put it out there?
No, they wouldn't do that. They invested a lot of money in this guy to be a pitcher and a hitter.
There is one other side of this, of him most likely not doing the home run derby. If this had been 2 years ago when the game was in Los Angeles, or if the game was in LA this year, do you think he would do it?
No, I don't think so. I think he's disciplined enough to understand, I'm really looking towards my future and the health for the team. I think that's the Japanese way, to be honest with you. Especially a guy like Shohei, who's, obviously very focused and diligent with his work.
Very funny. Nasty in the chat says it wasn't Tommy John, it was John Tommy.
I like that.
That's cute. Very cute.
I
I like that. That's like our Doyle Jack when he or what is it? What do we call him? Dak Joyle when he comes out and like umps certain things in the warehouse.
I like that.
He's the alter ego. That's kind of cute. Yeah, by the way, I just threw that out there because I could see the league coming to him and saying, Shohei, you sure you don't want to do the home run derby?
They got enough stars there. Just pick one. I mean, come on.
Oh, we'll see. Hey, this episode of Baseball Today is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Of course, we are in the first week of July. That means everybody, you got your summer plans. Well, slow your roll. If you don't have your plans just yet, and if you're a huge baseball fan, maybe it's time to explore those U.S. cities that you always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we are talking about your rivals' cities, and with hotels and bed and breakfast and vacation rentals and resorts and so much more at your disposal right there at Booking.com, you might just find the perfect stay even in your baseball rival city. So think about this, right? Let's say that you are in the National League East and you're a Mets fan and you've never been to our nation's capital, or you've never been to Philadelphia. I know it's close, but maybe you've never done this. And you say, I would never set foot in those towns. I can't stand the Nats. I can't stand the Phillies. But you know what? I wouldn't mind watching the Mets take on those teams in their respective venues. That would be kind of cool. Start shopping on Booking. Yeah, you might find the perfect hotel or place to stay in that overlooks a stadium. Maybe it's a family-friendly resort. Whatever it is, Booking.com has so many choices for all your summer travel this baseball season. And yes, the right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. So book today on Booking.com, an official accommodation partner of Major League Baseball, on the site or in the Booking.com app. Go do that today. All right, speaking of walk-offs, we saw one in Los Angeles. There was one in Cleveland as well, and this one looked very, very odd.
3-2. In the air. Is it deep enough? Yes. Robert makes the catch. Here comes Jimenez. No throw. Guardians win it.
So if you're joining us audio only, that was Luis Robert catching kind of a mid-ish to deep fly ball from Bo Naylor. Andres Jimenez was the runner that tagged it third. There was no throw at home. Some people were really, why didn't he throw it? Where are you on this?
I think he should have thrown it. And I think that's like an outfielder's dream scenario, a high fly ball that you can get camped under and actually run into it and just try to absolutely hammer one home. That's what everybody wants to do. Did I think he had a chance realistically? No, but you never know what if the base runner falls? Like, that's what I always think. Like, just get that dang thing in there. And again, it's a scenario where you just get to absolutely show off your arm. That was high enough. You had plenty of time. He was backpedaling when he caught the ball. So like maybe that's what was in his mind. Like, shoot, I didn't get behind the ball enough. I have no chance. I can't throw him out now. And then if it was just a bad route and he just messed it up, then I'm like, all right, whatever. But like, he's too good to not have a good route on that ball. You have to get around that ball. You have to be coming in on it. You have to be catching it, arm side and going. So I think it looked bad, and it was a bad play by him. You gotta get that ball in.
So I sent out a poll last night on X with the video attached and saying, how would you feel if you were a Sox fan? And I think the two choices were throw the damn ball or what the hell? He was going to make it anyway. And at 70-30 roughly, throw the damn ball. Like it was funny. We were watching as a family. So Josh Brady, myself, Michelle's there. And she goes, why aren't you guys celebrating? And I was like, because we're all stunned that he did not throw the ball. Like, how in the world do you not make the play? If the roles had been reversed and Cleveland center fielder hadn't done it, I would be motherfucking the guy. Like, what? Yeah, what do you got?
This is the truth, people. And if you don't think so, then you're not really paying attention. If he was on any other team, he throws that ball.
Oh,
the White
God.
Sox have it's a bad vibe there. Like, so people are saying, oh, we don't want to trade for this guy. He's not going to give an effort. Bullshit. It's just a bad vibe there. When you're losing every single game, it's not an excuse for him. I think he should have thrown the ball. I'm on that part. I'm on that camp. In that camp. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just the vibe there, dude. Like, how many things have we seen that's like you scratch your head like, what just happened? Something like that. It is just not good there. But if he comes to your team in a trade, I promise you he's going to throw the ball home in that situation.
Doesn't that make it even more irresponsible? I mean, when you are struggling
a little bit, but I've been in a situation, and again, I don't excuse it. He should have thrown the ball home. But your effort level, it's sometimes it's hard to get it when you're going to lose 100 games, man. You're not playing for anything. So again, people, you should have thrown the ball. I'm just saying, don't think, hey, I don't want to trade for that guy just because of this one play. Like he'll give more of an effort is all I'm saying. Okay, whether that's right or wrong, it's the truth.
Well, no, I appreciate the truth. That's really good that you said that, because that's what we need. If you had been playing third base for the White Sox, would you have said something to him in the clubhouse?
Yes. Sorry for cussing. Yes. Yes.
What do you say?
What's going on? What are you doing? Throw the fucking ball.
Should his manager have aired him out post-game? I looked for it. I couldn't find one thing from Pedro Grifol.
Yeah. I think you should have went up to him. I should have brought him into the office or talked to him.
Well, maybe he did. That we don't know.
Maybe he did.
That one we don't.
Air him out, or maybe you do. Maybe they need that. I mean, I'm sure Ozzie Guillen did. I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting. I went right to the post-game show. It's one of my favorite things to do after a tough White Sox loss is watch Chuck Garfien and Ozzie Guillen. And they were actually kind of easy on him. I thought they really could have gone after him. It was rough because they had a weird play where DeYoung threw a ball and it nailed Naylor in the back. It was very odd. Robert actually had a very good offensive game, including a 2-run homer. I did think that Kopech got squeezed on the Bo Naylor at bat, threw 99 right at the bottom of the zone. Easily could have been called strike 3, and there they get 2 outs instead of the sac fly later in the bat. So there was a lot of shit that went haywire again for the White Sox. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, I think he does make that throw for any other team. That is weird to think about. Weird. Hey, real quickly, if you're not a subscriber to this, we know there's a lot of people that join us daily for the live feed. Hit the subscribe button. Also hit the thumbs up. We did that experiment the other day. It worked. It worked. It just helps spread the word for us. So just go ahead. It doesn't cost you anything except one tap on your device, however you're watching us. So thanks for doing that. All right, let's go to the boogie down. This was another fun finish. I got close for the Yankees. Aaron Judge hit his league-leading 32nd as he joined Ruth, Maris, and Mantle as the only Yankees to hit that number through a team's first 87 games. But it was Elly De La Cruz that stole the show. He had a triple earlier in the game that, I mean, dude just prances around the bases. Here he could just kind of coast around the bases because the ball went over the wall. Reds hang on for a 1-run win up in New York. And this was the team that Elly rooted for growing up. So this was a big, big moment for him. Give a listen.
Amazing. There was a lot of fans, and there was loud. Loud. And I love it. I love it playing here.
And Derek Jeter was your
My first time here.
Derek Jeter was your guy. So what was it like playing the same area which your guy played?
I feel so proud, and it was amazing playing here. I want to meet him.
I love that at the end. I want to meet him. God, I hope he has a chance to meet Derek Jeter soon if that's what he wants to do. Can we just, before I ask the question on Elly De La Cruz, I know we mentioned this earlier in the year. He talked about how important it was for him to learn English because he wants to be able to communicate.
I was just about to say that.
with Reds fans because he knows that he's going to be the guy for a long time. And I'm proud of him. Every time I listen to him, it sounds like he just has so much fun. And I think it's great.
I was going to mention the exact same thing. He sounds great. And it's not easy. Put yourself in his shoes. Go down and play in the Dominican. See how quickly you learn Spanish and how comfortable you are speaking in front of, hundreds of thousands of people on a microphone. It won't be quick and it won't be easy.
I know he's one of the most electrifying players in the sport. Is he one of the top 5 most popular?
He's got to be up there. The way he plays the game, if you set your eyes on him ever, whether that's highlights, if you're not a fan of his team or, you see him in person, if he's playing against your team, it's hard to take your eyes off of him. And you realize what kind of special player he is. Top 5 most popular player. I don't know if he's in that realm yet. In Cincinnati, obviously he is. We saw the lines for his bobblehead. They were nuts. I think he has everything going to be one of the faces of baseball because look, he's doing everything this year. He's playing great defense. He wears his uniform great. Like, it's a swaggy uniform. Kids love that stuff. Watch him run the bases and it's like, oh my goodness. He does things on the field that other guys can't even fathom doing. So if he's not there already, he'll get there. He's exactly the kind of player that kids love to watch. And if we're being honest, I'm not a kid anymore. And I love to watch him. You're definitely not a kid anymore, and you love to watch him. So it's like he's universally a guy. It's like I think a lot of times we gravitate towards athletes that are just so far and above what typical people can do. Sometimes we gravitate towards the guys that are kind of like, oh man, he looks like me, or he's kind of an everyman. And so I think we go there, and I think we go to the guys that were just like, he's not the same species as I am. And I think that's what Elly is. People just look at him and say, oh my gosh, the tools that this guy has and can play with are something I've never been able to do. So yeah, he's on his way if he's not already there.
So just do the counting. Shohei's 1, then Judge, Harper.
Yeah.
Then it gets kind of interesting. Mookie.
Yeah, I think Mookie's there.
Soto.
I think Garrett Cole's there as well.
I don't think Garrett Cole is popular. I think he's
Paul Skeens is kind of up there now. I think they're pushing him a lot.
I think he's the only pitcher that is anywhere close to that list, and I don't know exactly where he sits.
Okay.
I think kids love the Soto shuffle. I think they love all that. So I think
they love Fernando Tatis Jr., bro. Don't forget about him. They love him.
That's one on the list, and the other guy who, because he's injured for the year, is Acuna.
Yeah.
So I think that's the list. That sort of group at the back end is the one that he would have to, because those top 3 spots, at least for the time being, those 3 aren't going anywhere. So it's great. I hope he's in the All-Star game. I gotta imagine he's going to get there. I mean, he has to be.
Hey, Jeets, go say hi to this guy. You're in.
Please.
He's in New York. Come on.
Well, I don't think that's where Derek hangs out.
Yeah, but he can just fly up there real quick.
For the day? Just to
why not?
By the way, what a power
Derek,
move.
that's how social media works. He's trying to be a social media guy. Like, just go make this guy's day. You'll be all over everywhere. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but Jeter's going to call the league office, make sure that Elly gets in the All-Star game, and then I'll see you in Arlington. That way I don't have to make a special trip.
All right.
But what a baller move that would be if Jeter got on a jet just to go shake hands with him, spend pregame tonight, and get out that before first pitch. That would be baller. Just saying. All right, we still have a little bit more show to go, but first, a word from my buddy Trevor Plouffe.
Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases full, down 3. The crowd on their feet. That's the drama of baseball. It's real, and so is all of the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. From the first pitch to the final out, DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. If you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. And really, it's easy. All you got to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code baseball today. New customers, like I said, you bet $5 and you get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code baseball today. All one word, baseball today, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Love hearing that. Jaren Duran's wearing the crown of one of the most talented players in the game. He did it again last night. He's now homered in 3 straight. In the process, became the first American leaguer to have 10 homers, 10 triples, 20 steals, and 100 hits before the All-Star game. There's a very, very popular award called the fictitious first half AL MVP race. Where would you vote him?
Judge, Soto, Gunnar are obviously head and shoulders above every single other person. And then where do you put Jaren Duran? We just did the all JM team. I'm not going to spoil anything. He may or may not have gotten mentioned there. Looking around the league, I mean, Bobby Witt is close, I think.
Bobby Witt is 1 triple shy of becoming the second American leaguer ever with those numbers.
So I will probably put Bobby Witt ahead of him just a little bit because he's playing shortstop. That's about it. So I guess I'd put him 5 or 6 if I forgot somebody.
That's an amazing first half, and he's not even close to sniffing it. By the way, let me ask you this. Why do we put Soto, and I think I would do the same, in your opinion, do we put Soto as high as he is?
Because he's one dotting it. Essentially. Okay. I mean, what else do you need to know? Here's the thing. Think about this. We talked about the Padres, how they just all of a sudden they're flush with outfielders. Profar comes back, holds it down. Jackson Merrill out of nowhere holds it down. Tatis is back doing his typical Tatis things. Nobody's talking about the Red Sox in this completely new outfield they have. I mean, I know Duran's not new, but this is his breakout year for sure. And then you got Rafaela, who's, they're splitting some time in center field. And then you got Wilyer Abreu out there in right field. Like what a treat for Red Sox fans to see all these guys kind of like coming up and performing. But Duran's definitely led the way. He's gone off. Huge biceps. I already said Benny biceps is freaking out, bro. It's like he never existed when you go up next to Jaren Duran.
Don't say that.
It's the truth.
I know he is
their biceps. I think 6th, right? Like I think that's it.
So do we need
to do a pitcher in there, right?
No, not for the MVP. Do we have to do a better job of, like, Boston? None of us, we all thought that they were going to be a distant 5th, right? Going into the year.
Yeah.
Particularly when Giolito went down in spring training, we were like, where are they going to get any innings from? We just didn't think that they were going to be good enough to hang in a really good division. Well, not only are they not 5th, they're holding on to a wild card spot.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we put more value on that and Jaren Duran's performance because of that? Like, we knew that the Yankees were going to be good. We knew that the Orioles were going to be good. Not to dismiss what Judge, Soto, and Gunnar have all done, but shouldn't we raise up Duran because of that?
But he's not like single-handedly doing it. Most of it is because of their starting pitching has just been lights out. You got other guys around him. Devers has a 9-something OPS. He's continuing to hit the ball. I mentioned the other 2 outfielders. He's got a squad around him. Does it mean something? I think so. Like, it's hard for me to sit there and say like, oh, you got to be on a good team to be in the MVP race because I never was on a good team essentially, and I feel like I saw some guys have some really good years, and you can't choose where you play people for the most part. But no, he's had an incredible year. I'm glad we're shining some light on him because I feel like in the national spotlight he probably doesn't get it enough. But go look at the numbers, go watch him play a little bit. He's dynamic.
You can choose where you play, but you have to wait 6 seasons.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
Last thing before we get out of here for the day, cooler home run moment. Hitting 2 like Nathaniel Lowe on his own bobblehead night, which I thought was pretty neat. That's a good bobblehead. He's got the Gold Glove in one hand, and then he goes out and does his thing as the Rangers beat up on the Padres. Nice job by Nathan Eovaldi in that game, by the way. The other one was Elio Ramos, who has had a fantastic year, should be in the All-Star game. He hit a ball in Atlanta that he thought he had fouled off, but ended up going over the wall.
Shoot. I'm going to go with the bobblehead. I'm going to go with the 2 homers on your Gold Glove bobblehead night. I think that's pretty, what am I trying to say here? Like, suck it. Whoever, like, the doubters hate on me. Like, this is, what are you going to do about it? Sorry for that comment again. I've done something like Elliot Ramos has done against your Cleveland Guards. I actually hit a homer against Kluber, and I thought Michael Brantley caught it at the wall. So I stopped and started running back towards the dugout, and then they're like, no, it's a home run, dude. So this is also a great moment because you feel like you're like, hey, I got a homer for free. Even though you didn't really hit a homer for free, you earned it. But I've been there.
Ramos was great in his explanation afterward because as he crossed home plate, you actually see he and Sean Murphy exchange some words, and somebody was like, well, what was that? He said, well, I got to be honest with you. The way my helmet sat, I lost track of the ball. So I really thought I had fouled it off kind of like to the right. And then I see the right fielder running toward the wall. I was like, oh, my God, I got to get going. And he said, as I crossed home plate, I wanted to tell Murphy, like, I apologize. I really thought I had fouled it off. And Murphy said, hey, listen, man, no apology necessary. I thought the same exact thing. So I thought that was a great little moment. That dude has been a stud. I think he's going to hear his name called as a reserve in the All-Star game.
I do too.
He's really had a nice year. Once again, programming note, we are taking Thursday off. We are back on Friday, which means that you got to get your booking.com question of the week in by Thursday night. Please do that. Maybe even do it by today so that you can have all of Thursday just relax and do whatever the heck you do. Maybe go to Plouffe's really cool party that I don't get into because I don't get past their 17 security guards. So that's fine. No, it's okay. I've got stuff to do. And I think that's it. I think that's awesome. Enjoy your 4th of July. Please be safe. Please take care of each other. Take care of yourself as well. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our amazing intern, Tommy Young, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Friday on Baseball Today, presented to you by Booking.com.